Hey, hey, Hang Gang. Welcome back to Joy of the Hang. It's Sharon and Lauren with you again. Hey, Lauren.
What up, Sharon?
What up, girlfriend? How you doing today?
Pretty good.
Do we ever get on here and say, it sucks, like we're feeling miserable? Every time we get on here, we're like, you know what? It's awesome. We're here.
No, because I have a great life.
Yeah.
I love living here in Sarasota. I, have a great home life. I have great friends. I mean, today I got up, did a couple things around the house, walked my dog, had coffee with my husband, went to the gym, ran a few errands, and then went to Perspire.
Ooh, tell me about Perspire. I haven't checked that out yet. What's that about?
So I will try anything.
That's a franchise, right? You'll try anything. I know. She left that hanging for me. It was like low fruit for me to grab.
That
and
was
I left it hanging.
Such low fruit. But I mean, the reality is I kind of would try anything, but we're talking about like workout
anything, Lauren.
Anything,
okay.
Sharon.
All right, good to know.
So I'm always intrigued. So for Perspire, it is a franchise.
Yes.
To no surprise, it started in California. But you go in and they have probably about 13 different rooms that are cleaned very well after each guest, and it is a sauna. Some of the rooms have showers in them, some do not, but they're very new, very clean.
They're the infrared saunas.
And
right?
you can choose, they have the infrared, and then you can also choose other lighting, like green is supposed to be like nurturing, and then they have like yellow light means something else, and there's lights for stress and lights for energy and lights for repair. But it also has the whole time the red light, which is supposed to be very good also aesthetically for your skin.
So are they private individual rooms?
Private individual
you can go in there
rooms.
naked if you want.
You can go completely naked, whatever you want. Some of the all fresh, big, huge, white, towels that are awesome, and plenty of towels, like a towel down on the floor to walk on, a towel to lie on in the sauna, a towel for your head, a towel to wipe yourself off with. And if you're in a room that doesn't have the shower, they leave you with this really ice cold towel to use afterwards that's scented with some type of
nice. Lavender
eucalyptus or lavender. That's
nice.
extremely refreshing. But you go in 40 minutes, and I gotta tell you, I loved it. Felt great.
Life is good.
Life is good.
Life is good. Well, and I just recently joined a new gym, and I was excited because they also have a recovery area. And in the recovery area, they have the cold plunge, and they also have an infrared sauna that doesn't have all the bells and whistles that Perspire has. It's just infrared. But I thought, I'm all like big bravado going, oh, I can go in that cold plunge. I can last for, 5-10 minutes. And so, like, no big deal. And then I spoke to another woman in the locker room. She goes, oh, you're going to do the cold plunge? And I'm like, yeah, I'm excited about it. And she goes, how long are you going to stay in there? And I said, well, I think it's my first time. I'm going to try to do 3 minutes. And she looked at me and started laughing. And she said, 30 seconds is the norm for the first time. And I'm like, 30 seconds? Like, that's dipping in and out, right? So, and they keep it at 47 degrees. And so I got into the cold plunge.
What were you wearing?
I had a bathing suit on.
Bikini or a one piece?
I did a one piece because I wanted to keep as much as myself covered, just in case it really was freezing.
I didn't know you owned a one piece.
I know. I think it's the one that I do own.
Was it a thong or just regular?
No, it was regular.
Boring.
But it was very lacy.
Boo.
It was very lacy. Okay. It's still sexy. So anyway, I get into the cold plunge and I set my timer and I start going, making all these noises.
So how long did you make it?
I made it to 3 minutes, but I didn't put my arms and I had my neck, neck down, submerged. But the woman happened to be the infrared sauna and the cold plunge are in the same room, and she happened to be in the sauna and I was in the cold plunge, and she was in there laughing at me because I was making all these noises like I was gonna die. And sure enough, I was so numb, every part of my body was numb, and I got out and I could barely stand up. It was that bad.
And then what do you do when you get out? What's the protocol?
So, well, first of all, cold plunges are supposed to help with inflammation. There's a lot of benefits to doing cold plunges. I guess it's supposed to even help with fat loss. So I guess there's a lot of benefits to doing it on a regular basis. So, but there I got out, just dried off, and then I actually went into the sauna after that and sat in the sauna for 30 minutes. So yeah, no, it was lovely. I did a class there, which was great. I love this new gym. So
yeah, Jefferson Fit downtown.
Yeah, yep. And
do you think the guy who owns it is in shape at all?
Oh my gosh. Yes, he is definitely in shape. I don't think I can talk about it on the podcast. You know, he's definitely in shape.
He's literally chiseled out of stone.
Yeah.
Like,
oh my gosh.
I mean, I saw him for the first time ever before he had opened the gym. He walked into Whole Foods. He was in line behind me. He clearly sized me up. I mean, I had probably just worked out or been on a long walk.
Yeah.
So he clearly realized I was his demo and came up to me, said something, and handed me the little information on his gym that he was going to be opening. But yeah, he's literally like chiseled out of stone.
Yeah, and the thing I like about the space is it's a boutique gym, so it's more expensive than an EOS or an LA Fitness. It's more comparable in price to Orange Theory or F45. So, but they have all this really like high tech recovery equipment there. I can't even describe it. It's something, there's this stuff you can put on that gives you a massage that honestly looks like something an astronaut would wear, right? It inflates as you lay there and it compresses your muscles and it's so cool. So they have that. But the equipment itself in the gym is all brand new. So the one thing I didn't care about with some of the big box gyms were the equipment was always broken. There's always a piece of equipment broken, and you're always competing with people to use it. And this is an older demographic, so it's more gently used than some of these big box gyms where, you know, you get these teenage kids in there that are slamming the equipment down and don't know how to use half of it. And so I really appreciate that there's a space like this that's clean. They have trainers there if you want to work with a trainer. They have a coffee station. They provide towels. That's all that's included.
Oh, I like the little extras like that. Yeah, I do really wonder, nice. You know, as you mentioned, the therapies for recovery, and it looked like something an astronaut would use. You do wonder how far off we are from people just like going into a pod, hooking up to something, and it works out your whole body. I mean, obviously, we all know the muscle stimulation, that those little units that people buy, and obviously those are not up to par yet. But I mean, I don't think anyone would have ever thought that you would be able to take a shot, you know, of a little liquid or whatever is in the you know, Ozempic, the semi-glutide, whatever that is. I don't think anyone ever thought you'd be able to just shoot something in your body and lose weight fat so easily. I know. It'll be interesting to see how the working out evolves.
Well, the thing that's interesting too is how my workouts have evolved. I've worked out for most of my life, as have you. And I mean, it's just been part of my routine. But it's interesting that I never, probably 20 years ago, would have cared about a recovery room. And now I need all the recovery I can get. My body is definitely, you know, the more I work it, the more it needs a little bit of TLC after.
Oh, totally. Right? I don't think I ever thought that when I would get out of bed, you know, and walking down the stairs, that I would have to sort of do a couple little stretches and move around. I mean, when I get up out of my bed, if I don't sort of move around a little before I walk down the stairs, I have to hold the banister when I walk down the stairs. That's crazy.
That is crazy.
I mean, I'm in shape. I'm not that old. I'm 53.
Yeah.
And I'm like, holy shit, I have to hold the banister to go down the stairs.
So we were talking before we started recording. I'm going to be 59 in just a few days. And by the time this airs, probably would have already turned 59. And I am freaked the fuck out. I'm not really happy about it. I mean, I'm happy that I'm here to celebrate it, obviously. I wouldn't want the alternative. But damn, that seems old to me.
And why do you think that is? I mean, I don't need to. It's you and me here, so I don't need to do the blah, blah, blah. I mean, you know, Sharon, you're beautiful, you're in shape, you look a fuck ton better than most women who will be turning 59. So what is it about that number that's so scary to you?
Well, and no birthday has ever bothered me, honestly. It's just a number. I've always thought it's just a number. I think just because it's the end of my 50s, right? I'm going into 60. And, the average life expectancy for American women is 80 years old. And I'm kind of thinking, shit, that's like 20 years. Now, I hope to live much longer than that. I hope I have another 40 years in me. But when you really think about like the average is another 20 years. So what is that? 2/3, and somebody good with math help me out, but 2/3 of my life is gone, right? So you think about, shit, what do I want to do in the next 20 years if that's really all you're given? Like, do you ever think about that? Like, I sometimes think about if you really knew how much time you had on this planet.
Oh, I would never, ever want to know, but I've had a reoccurring, I guess I could call it kind of a nightmare since I was a kid. It just gets really strong at night, and I get freaked out by thinking about dying, but not dying like I'm worried I'm going to die.
Yeah.
But the fact that we all die, that this ends, that's bizarre to me, that this ends and there's, it ends. There's nothing else. It ends. So it is interesting since you asked me that question. I would be curious, and the next time we're with all our friends, I'm going to ask, I'd be curious who would want to know, who would want to know, and who would not want to know. If you could know, like, how old you're going to be when you die, I would definitely 100% not want to know.
You wouldn't want to know.
I would not want to know.
Yeah. Well, and it's interesting because I study longevity. I'm very interested in longevity and how to live longer and healthier and all that stuff. I think it's fascinating. And you want to be healthy, right? If you're able to get these extra years. I think, if I only had 20 years, if I knew for a fact I had 20 years, I'd spend a lot more time with my kids. For me, I would also travel a lot more.
But don't you think you should live like that? Because
you should live like that. 100% you should live like that. But I think sometimes you don't because you take life for granted.
Well, yes. And I think I might have mentioned on a previous podcast that I have at times, more recently than I'd like to admit, been a little bit reckless and careless because I throw caution to the wind too much. Because when I was diagnosed 4 years ago, will be 4 years this Memorial Day, with having uterine cancer that again was early. I thank God didn't need chemo or radiation, but I still had cancer.
Yeah.
It made me feel so mortal that, I definitely, will take a vacation after taking a vacation, and I probably spend too much money. And, I've just been a little bit sort of careless and reckless, just thinking, well, I can't take it with me and I'm going to die anyway, and I don't know when that is. So there's definitely trying to find like a happy medium.
So it's interesting because I've never shared this with you, but when I was in my 20s, so that was a long time ago, I actually had cervical cancer, stage 3.
You've never shared that?
No, I haven't. So I had stage 3 cervical cancer, and it was before I started having children. And they actually had to remove part of my cervix. And I wasn't sure I'd be able to have children and carry children after that. So same thing though, I didn't have to have chemo.
You were still able to get pregnant with part of your cervix?
I was able to get pregnant, but they said to me, you probably won't carry to term, and I didn't. My son was premature. And
how premature?
5 weeks, so
Wow.
not too bad. But he was only 5 pounds, 10 ounces when he was born, so he was kind of little. But yeah, they said you probably won't be able to carry to term. When I got closer to the end of my term, they had to go in and add some more stitches so that I could hold him in because my cervix was so weak. But yeah, so that was interesting. But it's my whole point in even bringing it up is because when I heard you say like you were freaked out by it, I was kind of like the opposite. I was like, oh, no big deal. I can beat this. I'm not gonna,
So you didn't need any treatment?
Just they took it all out. They were able to get it all with surgery. Okay. So they removed
How
it
did they
surgically.
find it?
Laparoscopy, I think. I think they were in there because I was struggling to get pregnant, I think is what happened. Or it might have been, no, you know what? It was a pap smear. You know how when you're younger you have a pap smear every so often?
Yeah.
A pap smear came back abnormal. That's what it was, like that one. So yeah, no, it was later on when I had other issues later on, but that one was, and I was like stage 3, same with you. I'm like, stage 3, what are you talking about? So anyway, but it was I never for a second thought that I wouldn't be okay.
I wonder if that's because of your age, whereas
Maybe.
you said what, 20?
25 maybe.
25.
Maybe 25.
And I guess I was 49.
Yeah.
My mom had died at
Right.
49,
So
right before she turned 50. So I just thought, oh, this is, okay, that's going to be me. I'm going to die before I'm 50.
Interesting. Yeah, it probably is an age thing because it never crossed. I was like, oh, well, they're going to take it out of me and I'm going to be fine. And that's the end of it.
But
so
it's always, I
thankfully,
guess, like a
And it never
numbers
came
thing.
back.
And Sharon, why is 9 scared of 7?
Why is 9 scared of 7?
Because 7, 8, 9.
But bump. Our comedy section for the day. So to the point though of me like turning 59, I am now looking into all these lasers and trying to get my skin looking better. Not that it looks terrible now, but I'm noticing some age spots and whatnot. So I'm just like, I need to get rid of those. And I know you worked at a plastic surgeon's office. And so I am now researching the TRL laser, which is, I guess, a full contour laser, and also the CO2 laser. And I can't tell you, it's kind of like when I was researching hormone replacement therapy drugs. There's so much information. You don't know what's right, what's wrong, who to listen to.
You can
it's overwhelming.
It's overwhelming. You can kind of oversimplify it. And you have, with various lasers, you have, fractional lasers and non-fractional lasers. And it's a difference of downtime, severe downtime, and no downtime. And what that can be attributed to is when you have a fractional laser, you're actually, sort of taking off the outer layers of your skin. That's why you get such great results, because they take off all sort of the, to oversimplify it, the old skin, and then you get the baby, beautiful skin that has no sun damage. It's taut. And then you have the non-fractional lasers, which sort of could act more like coring, or they destroy the lower surface deeper into the dermis of your skin, so you don't have a ton of damage that gives you a lot of downtime. Your skin says, oh my gosh, I'm injured, let's make more collagen. So you heal, your skin builds collagen, but the results are very different. But what you're talking about, the TRL and the CO2 laser, which are both fractional lasers, those are a severe amount of downtime, and you do look like hamburger meat right after.
I'm not sure. And the quotes I'm getting are all over the place too, by the way. But I'm not
They
quite
can
sure.
be very, very effective, Sharon. I mean, they are great for people that have fine lines and wrinkles. They're great for people that have acne marks or pock marks. And as I was saying to you earlier, it's just really important to find the right doctor who won't overdo it.
Right. Well, and as far as the downtime, I mean, some of these, it could be a couple of months before I can wear makeup and look good again. So I don't want to downplay how intense this is.
You cannot even, with a lot of them, you cannot even go outside for weeks. It's not even like, oh, you can go outside with sunblock on and a hat under an umbrella. No, you can't even be outside.
Yeah. So I'd love to hear from some listeners who've had some of these procedures and see what they recommend. I mean, you don't know what my skin looks like, but it's not horrible. So I'm leaning towards just trying something kind of subtle for the first time, since I've never done anything, and get a feel for that.
And I've said to you, I think you should do a light CO2 and do one that has, literally if you said to them, okay, I want a light CO2, I have a wedding in 2 weeks, and I want to be able, I don't mind if I'm a little red in 2 weeks, but I don't want any skin still peeling, I don't want any oozing. That's a very
Well, I'm leaning more
fine
towards
line.
doing the BBL with the halo combination. Is that what you did?
I did something similar to that, clear and brilliant, with the BBL, but I think that you still want something a little more than that.
Yeah.
I think that you wouldn't be happy with the results.
It wouldn't show me enough.
That wouldn't show you enough, because someone who's talking about doing a TRL or a CO2 laser is not going to be happy with a halo and a BBL.
Okay, interesting.
Yep.
Yeah. So it's so much fun getting old.
Well, and
It's so much fun. All the maintenance we have to do.
Sharon, you and I partake, and there are plenty of people that don't. Neither my twin sister or my 18-month older sister do, and I'm envious of them for that. Sometimes I, think in a day when I'm by myself, this is exhausting. Like, this is ridiculous. Like, why can't I just put my moisturizer on, put my sunblock on, and, be happy and get a good workout in and be happy with how I look. But that's not me. And so I'm going to continue to do Botox and do microneedling and do the less invasive treatments that over the long haul make you, look fresher. I'm 53. I still look like I'm in, like a 50-year-old woman. I think I just look good.
No, you look a lot younger than that. And trust me, if my 81-year-old mother heard this, she'd be rolling her eyes right now. She'd be saying, who's never done anything, right? She'd be like, you're fine.
I wonder with my grandmother if she would have, because she, obviously they weren't in this era of people doing all of these treatments and social media, but I remember my grandmother being obsessed with having, an 18-inch waist. So
wow, that's tiny, 18 inch?
Tiny.
Wow.
Tiny. But yes, I certainly think it'd be much, much easier to go through life not caring so much about how you look, not placing, any importance on it other than the, basic, you want to have good hygiene, what have you, and maybe put a little mascara and lip gloss on. But I just think that would be
I think, you know what?
nice.
I think it's nice that it's available to us. And if we can, why wouldn't you want to use the tools that are available to us to stay youthful looking? I don't know. I agree with what you're saying. Like, it's nice if you don't have to, but, or don't care, I guess. Maybe it's nice if you don't care, but I always want to put my best face forward and I
Me too, but I would,
myself.
if I'm being honest, and I should stop saying that because you and I are always honest.
Yeah.
That's what I love about our podcast. I spend too many hours of the day focused on something that has to do with either what I'm wearing, how I look, how my body looks, what I'm putting in it. I think I spend too much of the day thinking about those things.
It.
Yeah,
That's fair. Now you've got a book open here today. You want to share?
I do,
with
because
us
we've been sharing this Want by Gillian Anderson, and you read from here before, and we both sort of agreed the one fantasy that we read just seems so sort of normal to us.
Right.
The woman being
hot for her.
So it is just so interesting. The difference of the fantasies, which is, I guess, a beautiful thing. I mean, we're all different, creatures in life. We have different needs, different wants, but I'm just going to read the end of one that is quite long and very detailed and very aggressive, I guess I'd say. So at the end, she says, my employer lifts me onto his desk, spreads my legs open, presses his face into my pussy, and begins to lick me in a way only he knows how. As I begin to orgasm, he thrusts his cock inside me to empty his beautiful load into me. I can feel the warm cum of the two businessmen slowly seeping out of my pussy and asshole. The business deal is successfully closed.
Whoa.
Yeah, and that's how, if I had read it from the beginning, it was quite intense. But that, compared to this other fantasy, which I'll read right from the beginning, I have a recurring sexual fantasy about a dentist. It specifically involves the dentist chair and being tied down. I don't know what it means, and I'd probably be super upset if my actual dentist
Can you say lawsuit?
tried to fuck me, but do with that what you will. That's all.
I would be 911, attorney 911. What the fuck?
Isn't that hilarious?
I came in for dental work and I got
right.
I got
but
rammed.
That's her fantasy.
I know, it's crazy.
Right.
Yeah,
But I like how she says she actually wrote to Jillian, this is my fantasy, but I believe I'd be pretty upset.
I'd be pretty pissed
if the dentist actually tried to fuck me. But I'm still going to fantasize about him fucking.
So we have hot for dentist and hot for boss.
Exactly. Well, this woman on the first one I read, her fantasy involves like multiple guys and being told what to do and out of every orifice. And I mean, it's something. I think that she definitely
It's deep. No pun intended.
It's very deep.
Actually, pun intended.
She definitely has a very different type of fantasy than the woman at the dentist or the woman who wants to cuddle.
Who wants to cuddle? I know. We're not laughing at you. We're really not.
We're not laughing.
A lot of people just want to cuddle.
Yeah.
Not really.
Are you a cuddler?
No. Oh, yeah, I'm a cuddler.
Oh, I do.
But it's not
I'm
a
not
fantasy.
I'm not a cuddler. I mean, I'm all about holding hands. I think that's a beautiful thing to do. But sometimes I joke that if we're in bed and my husband, puts his hand on me after I kind of count 1, 2, 3, and wait till like 4 and then fling it off.
And then fling it off. You're like, I can move now.
Yeah.
That's funny. So would you have the dentist fantasy? Depends on your dentist, I guess.
Definitely not.
No.
Not the dentist fantasy at all. I've had quite a few Mark Wahlberg fantasies. Like,
I'm just trying to picture this dentist one. So they're, kind of drilling in your mouth and you've got spit flying everywhere. I don't know. It's just not a very sexy scene.
It's not. And don't you love how many times have you been to the dentist? I mean, they make jokes about it. And they've got all these things in your mouth.
Right.
And they try and talk to you.
Oh, I hate that.
And you're like,
I can't talk back.
I can't talk. And I try and talk. You can't understand me.
I've got a vacuum cleaner in my mouth, first of all, or whatever that thing is.
To that note, I can't ever recall my husband asking me a question while I've got his dick submerged in my mouth.
Yeah.
He has never asked me a question.
Yeah. But it told you to do something, giving you instructions.
Correct, yes. I'm sure there have been instructions, but he has never asked me a question that I would need to answer.
You need to stop doing what you're doing to
Exactly.
Yes. Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. We have to explore that, dentist, that person again.
Instructions, sure, like a little tickle the balls.
Exactly. Harder, whatever, faster. I don't know. Any of those things.
Definitely
stroke
not a
me
question.
at the same time, but yeah.
That I'm sure of.
Not a question, yeah. The other one, though, the boss fantasy, I could see that a lot of people would have a boss fantasy. Maybe not 2 businessmen at the same time, but
I would think
there's a lot of workplace type fantasies.
I would think a lot of workplace fantasies.
Yeah.
I mean, they joke. A lot of people have, call it like a work wife or a work spouse. You spend a lot
so much
of time at work. And I think people, do start having conversations about things that are maybe a little personal. However, the Me Too movement might have stopped that a little. I mean, I get it. If I were a guy and I walked by a woman in my office hysterically crying, I would say nothing. I'd keep walking. I would be concerned that maybe if I asked them why they were crying, they would think that's inappropriate. Like, why are you asking me? That's a personal question. I just think it's not negating the importance of everyone being treated equally in the office, but I think it would be difficult.
It's easy, though, to have blurred lines because it's oftentimes hard to separate your personal life from your business life. If you are emotional about something personally, it's difficult. And I think, too, it's like natural oftentimes for men to like compliment a woman if she looks nice that day or whatever, and so now that's become like taboo, and you're not supposed to do that either, right?
I mean, absolutely cannot do that. That could be seen as sexual harassment.
I know, it's horrible. I think it's gone too far. That part's gone too far. But anyway, I think it makes you feel good if someone's complimenting you, don't you think?
Totally, but that's where I say that everything's in the delivery, because I
Right.
know that every
Right.
woman listening to this will agree. A guy can tell you, and I don't care if they're, 30, I don't care if they're my age in their 50s or they're an older gentleman, you can say something in a way about me looking nice that makes me smile and think, oh my gosh, thank you. That's such a great compliment.
Right.
Or someone says something in a creepy way and it makes you feel uncomfortable. It's all in the delivery.
Yeah, I agree. Delivery and timing,
Yes.
time, place, all of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like, timing for, on a slight tangent here. If a woman has to ask her boyfriend or husband how she looks, you're fucked. It's too late. Like when your wife or girlfriend walks down the stairs dressed up, that's right then and there. You got to be like, wow, or you look hot, or grab her butt, just any sign, either verbally or, touching wise, that she looks hot. If she has to ask you, you're screwed.
It's true. Yeah, but we have to give our partners the same sort of feedback.
Oh, totally.
Yeah,
but I can remember one time being out with my twin sister, and I think my brother-in-law said something like, oh, you look nice, that outfit's cool. And I guess apparently he hadn't said something to her. I think it was totally innocuous. He was not being inappropriate with me at all. He was
hurt
just
her feelings.
Trying to be nice, but it kind of hurt her feelings.
Yeah, I get that. So let's see. You've always got advice for your younger self, and we've got to wrap up this episode. So what's it going to be this week?
Let's see. I would say that advice for my younger self would be wear sunblock, and wear some more sunblock, because I went in tanning beds in college. Yeah. I did it like if I had a pimple, I thought it would dry up, my pimple, and thought like everyone looks better tan. You look thinner, more rested, sexier. So I went in tanning beds, and then I never put on sunscreen and would just, blast my face in the sun. So I would definitely say wear sunblock. You still get tan. You can still get a little bit of a nice glow from wearing sunblock.
And your skin is also, you have to also take care of your skin from the inside out. It's not just taking care of the outside. So I would also add to that, eat plenty of fruits and vegetables, drink lots of water.
Yeah, I have to say the kids seem to be really good about drinking water these days. All three of my kids always have a water bottle on them and are
good.
Drinking.
They're good about that. Good.
Drinking a ton of water. I try and drink a lot. I will say though, I pee all the time. Like I now have to go into like Whole Foods and I'm like, I better go pee before I do my shop. Yeah. Oh, I'm in Target. I better go pee before I do my shop. Like, I don't want to do number 2 in a public restroom, but I would say
Is that because you're drinking a lot of water, or is that because you're getting older?
I think it's drinking all the water and partially being older, but I would say that every day now I pee somewhere in a public restroom while I'm out.
Yeah, I always have to stop and go too. I know where they all are. I know which stores I want to go into and which ones I don't.
Right.
Some are better than others.
Some are definitely better than others.
Some are better than others, yeah. It's sad.
And I'd rather cop a squat outside than go in a porta pot.
Oh, I don't mind porta potties. I can do the porta potty. I know they're gross, but I can do it.
They are so gross.
They are gross.
And I guess I always think about it. It's definitely it's a distance thing, right? Like they measured it to figure out the distance so that you could pee or poop into a porta pot and nothing ever splashes up. There must be a measured distance.
I don't know the science behind a porta potty.
There's definitely
but there definitely
is.
Right? No, I agree. There's got to be. Yeah. They can be nasty, though. I agree.
I try every time I say, you're not going to look, but you can't help.
You can't help. You know what? I'm always I'm always afraid that there's going to be a snake inside one, and it's just going to I'm totally freaked out about that there could be like a snake or something in there, and then it's going to crawl. I don't know why, because they're outside, and I'm just like, you never know what's crawling around in there.
That's crazy.
Now you're going to be thinking every time you go sit on a porta potty that something's going to
You've
bite
never
your
sat
ass.
on one, have you?
Well, even squatting. I mean,
Squatted.
even squatting you can.
I've never sat down on a
Yuck.
public toilet.
Any public toilet?
Nope.
Ever?
No.
Oh, wow.
Just squat.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Can't say the same. I have sat on many a public toilet.
Do you use do you wipe it, or do you
I
use
always wipe
one
it.
of those
No, I
seats?
wipe it. I don't like sitting on that seat. I wipe it.
That plastic seat. Isn't it annoying
wipe
when you
it.
walk into a bathroom and
They leave it there?
they leave it there?
Yes.
Come on,
Because who
you
wants
don't
to touch
notice,
that now?
You don't notice that
Yeah.
when you flushed, it didn't flush your plastic seat liner.
Well, that's annoying, but there's nothing more annoying when you go in and there's no toilet paper. I think we talked about that's the most annoying thing. And so now every time before I go, I always have to make sure there's toilet paper because that's the worst.
Well, to that note,
For
I
women,
feel like
anyway.
in my
Maybe not
house,
men, but-
I'm either like on my last roll and I'm panicked, or I have like 500 rolls. There's no like in between in my house. I either have way too many or I'm like down to my last roll.
Can we just talk about that? What the hell is with the price of toilet paper? Honest to God, it's like ridiculously expensive.
I guess it's up there with like razors.
Oh my
Why
God,
are
it's
razors
ridiculous.
so expensive?
Razors, and now we can't find eggs anywhere at a reasonable price. I mean, oh my God, I found this deal the other day at Publix a couple days ago. I needed coffee beans because we drink way too much coffee, and I buy the whole bean, and they had this sale. It was, I think, a 12-ounce bag of coffee beans. And they do the buy one get one, and they were $10.99 for one, and I bought 4 bags. I'm like, this is a steal because the rest of them were like $20 for a similar amount of beans, you know. But anyway, I'm just like, you have to look for these deals now. I don't know how families do it. I walked out of there and I barely had anything. I spent $170 for.
Yeah,
there's just 2 of us.
I don't know how anybody does it. What would you tell your younger self?
You know, more of what you were saying, just kind of take care of your skin, take care of yourself. I like that advice a lot. That I didn't do a lot of the tanning stuff. I would do the tanning bed for like the prom or, you know, some special occasion, but it wasn't something I did regularly. But yeah, now that I'm dealing with, you know, some skin issues, I guess just take care of your health more and make sure that you're getting the right nutrients so that you age better. So, and you don't have to spend all this money that I'm spending. Not that I look horrible. It's not like I'm a monster or anything.
No, you look great.
I don't want to give
It's
that
just
impression.
I mean, let's be honest too.
Oh,
We travel in a crowd of people that take care of themselves.
Yeah.
And I've sort of said this to my husband. I mean, it's, you know, yes, you shouldn't compare yourself. Comparing yourself to other people leads to unhappiness and many negative things. But I would not want to be traveling in a crowd or a pack of 20 women and everyone thought I looked, 60 and everyone else looked 40. I would not be okay with that.
Well, and not only that, I mean, I remember that Irene Moksha that we had for a guest, she said when women turn 60, they become invisible.
Yeah.
That her friend thought that. And
well, that's, I guess, what we're all fighting. Nobody wants to be invisible.
I don't want to be invisible, correct. I was going to read one more, a review that somebody gave us, because one thing that's really helpful for us is if you like what you hear on Joy of the Hang, we would love it if you would find us on Apple Podcasts and leave us a review. This one is a 5-star review that says, I appreciate the authenticity and vulnerability that Sharon and Lauren share on their podcast. Their stories are funny, heartfelt, and so relatable. I can't wait to hear more. And that was by Me Gusta Gatto. That was nice, right?
Very nice.
That's a very nice one. So yeah, please leave us a review. It really helps us a lot as we continue to grow our listenership and grow our podcast.
And grow our hang squad.
And grow our hang squad. Yay, ladies. I can't sing.
You can't sing, but your singing voice is better than mine. I mean, listen to how I talk.
I heard you singing I heard you doing some karaoke the other night.
Oh, it doesn't mean I don't do it. I sing in the shower. I sing karaoke.
Yeah.
consistently shout out very confidently the complete wrong words.
What's your one song? What is your? Do you have a go-to karaoke song?
I do not. I always need the words. I am not good with music, remembering words to songs. I wish I did. I mean, I was thinking the other day, you know what? I'm going to learn all the words to like Vanilla Ice song. So next time it comes on, I can sing it. Because people want to make fun of that song, but everyone loves it. Everyone our age starts to sing it when it's on, but I wish I knew all the words.
Okay, so my daughter and I do a badass version of Meatloaf's Paradise by the Dashboard Light. That's our song.
No, see, and I don't know what that is.
You don't know Paradise? That's the one where they go back and forth, and they're, he's at first, the runner's at first, then he goes to second. Paradise.
I probably know it, just didn't know that that's the name of it.
You would know it. You would totally know it.
You don't want to sing it for me so that I know what it is?
No, I can't. I have to have the words. Once I get going, I don't need the words. Oh, Hotel California is I know every word.
Oh, I know a lot of the words to Hotel California. And that's when you start blaring out, when it's on the radio, you start singing it.
If there's noise in the background on this episode, I want to tell you that it's my husband making a racket in the kitchen.
I'm pretty sure we're trying to guess. I'm pretty sure he came home from getting groceries. But besides putting them away, he's taking every bag and crumpling it like 20 times before he throws it in the trash can.
All the wives out there, do you ever get like so frustrated with your spouse that he knows you're recording and yet he's making so much noise? Right?
It's a lot of noise.
Yeah, it's really, really distracting. But anyway, on that note, we are going to say to all of our Hang Squad peeps, peace out.
Peace out, Girl Scout.